Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket twos. This is 10 NL game. We're in an early position under the gun folds, and it's on me, and I chose to open raise. It's not in the open raising range here. It used to be. Pocket pairs all the way down, down at suited 7-6. Didn't really have these hands in here. So like you didn't have like the ace 9 suited, king 9 suited. You had suited broadways, all of these. You didn't have jack 9. We added ace 5, ace 4, ace 3, ace 2. But I mean, no difference. We're gonna go with that. Actually, probably more realistic is what we'll probably take those out, take that out. That's probably more realistic range of what I was playing and probably still do today. So I'm going to get two calls here. I'm going to get a mid-position player and a small blind. Mid-position is playing 19-15 over 258 hands. 44 over 44 hands, we have 18-9. I'm going to guess these play about the same in terms of the range that they're going to call with. You can see Villain plays 15% from mid position. Race first ins 14%. He does have some calls here. That's his 1 out of 22. He's called a 2-bet. We don't have any additional notes. We do see the 3-bet stat is 2 out of 22. So this villain, I'm going to say probably 3-bets jacks plus, ace queen suited plus ace king. And then probably just calls these. Questionable if he calls like the low pairs, 2s, 3s, and 4s. Maybe not. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to give small blind the 2s, 3s, and 4s. Basically the same range here. I took out like king jack, added some of the suited connectors because I kind of feel like small blind, if they're going to call, they're going to be calling with some of these speculative hands. So we're going to go with this. Flop is queen 7-5 with 2 hearts. Queen 7-5 with 2 hearts. When we think about ranges, I don't think he hits queens. I've got queens. I've got villain 3 maybe has queens. I included him. I kind of assumed kings plus ace king was going to be his 3-bet. I think he's going to be more passive than this player. So villain checks. I think this is, based on what we ran yesterday, I think we should have range advantage here. We probably need to bet into 3 opponent or into 2 opponents. Maybe we're gonna check a little bit more, but just heads up, we're gonna probably bet. And here's the issue: if I do pocket pairs plus or a pair plus, and flush draw and the gut shot, we are already at 73%. Question is, how do we maneuver? How do we maneuver if we get called? I think it just kind of depends on who calls us. So I'm going to say we probably have middle pair down to small pocket pairs. Those are probably bluffs. This pocket pair less than the top card, it's probably bluff / value. Obviously, if someone has a queen, we're way behind. We have some overcards. We've got some backdoor flush potential. I think with the backdoor flush potential, we're not going to be raising all of them. I think we're going to be raising these. And ace 2, ace 3, ace 4. Because those backdoor can also pick up backdoor straight draw. Maybe even jack 10. Because we can continue with a lot of turn cards here. Any spade we can continue with. Obviously, if we've got a face card, we can continue with them because we'll either hit a pair or we'll pick up a potential straight draw. Low cards, 2, 3, 4, we have potential to pick up a straight draw, backdoor straight draw on that side. So I think we're going to be betting quite a bit. Or at least that's the plan. I think that's what we should do. I bet half pot. That's probably okay. We could probably go down to about 4. 4 might be a little bit stronger. What we're doing is trying to represent the queen. We know that either villain's going to probably call flush draw, probably not call the gut shot. I think the flush draw, they're going to probably call top pair. If they don't believe us, they'll call with one of these like middle pair hands, and then we're relying on, you know, catching a favorable card that we could continue to bet. So this player's like at 68%, which is still, you know, folding 32%. This player, if it's just a regular call, I probably expect, yeah, these pocket pairs plus to call, again, the flush draws to call, and that's about it. Now, if another person calls, then probably these 8s, 9s, 10s, and jacks will not be played. So what happens? So villain 8 folds. This villain calls. So once he calls, I don't think 6s is going to call. I mean, he could, maybe. I guess we could throw it in there. So that's 71%. Still about 30% or so is what he's gonna fold. So he calls. King Hearts comes out. That's what I would consider a favorable card with the spade, because we could also have the heart. We could represent the heart. We could have the straight. We bet. You know, if we get called, we're probably going to be done with this hand on a lot of our hands. So I think, you know, a villain checks to us, we're going to be betting. I'm going to say top pair plus, probably middle pair. Middle pair has a little bit of value too, because you have to think, would he have really called with like a ace king, king jack hand? One, I kind of feel like players would have 3-bet ace king, so we're looking at maybe a king jack, or he has like jack 10. If it's a hearts, he just picked up the flush. We're betting to kind of represent that we have it. So I think we go for like middle pair. We could be ahead, we may be behind. I still think we're betting these pocket pairs, these weak pairs. Those are all going to be bluffs. Those are all going to be bluffs. I think we're betting the nut and the second nut flush. Probably not the third. And yeah, we're also going to be betting that open ender that we have. I think we're probably just going to be betting almost 100% here. What hands are we not? The spades, yeah. Those will all be part of our bluffs. But you can see we're getting a lot of bluffing ranges here. I think this hits our range so well that we're going to continue. I know we could check, but if we check and we catch a 2 and villain bets into us, you know, what do we do? So villain checks. I do like the bet. I think we would have bet smaller on the flop, and then we bet larger here. It's a little bit more risky because I don't think we're going to get called really by worse. I think when we bet here, I think 2 pairs probably calling. 2 pair plus. I think nut flush draws probably calling, second nut. Maybe the third nut's gonna call. So you could see the reason we're betting so much is I don't think villain's gonna be continuing with all of these under pairs. I honestly don't think, like queens. Maybe the queen's called, and if they do, we're still looking at, you know, he's folding 47%. So that's part of the reason why we're betting so high. Take advantage of the folding, which he calls, so we're going to go with that. I think we're just going to be betting 100%. And then the 9 of spades hits, so the straight hits, that's pretty good. We do have some value, so the question is, if we bet, what is he going to call with? 2 pair plus, I think, is what he's going to call with. So if it's 2 pair plus, times that he does call, about a quarter of the time he's going to have the flush. 60% is a set. So I think we can bet for value with our high sets. So probably kings and queens. We go for some value. I think our flush goes for some value too. So I think these are our values. What else do we have? He's folding middle pair. Maybe he calls. That's tough. I guess if he's calling with all of these, we don't bluff. And we bet all of our sets. It's only 44 hands. We don't have enough. So let's just see what he does. He checks. I check behind. And that's probably good. Because the question is, can we get him to fold? And, I mean, if we have twos, we're betting to get him to fold here. But it's one of those, if he called all the way, maybe he just doesn't believe us. He just doesn't believe us. I mean, we could definitely bet again. The flush made it there, but you have to think. Personally, I think he's probably calling with all of these. He's not going to believe us. That's why he was calling. He didn't believe that the queen hit. He didn't believe that the king hit. Especially the queen. He probably doesn't believe that we have it. King's going to give him some pause, but I think he's probably going to give up. So I think going back earlier in the hand, you know, with the 9, with the king, I don't think middle pair's continuing. Queens is, I think queens will be continuing, but that's about it. Like I don't think Jackson. I don't know how you have Jackson here. Maybe the jack of hearts. I bet he had the jack of hearts that he called. So if we think he can fold, I think we bet these as bluffs. So we've got flush and sets. Those are value. We bet. You know, we bluff ace high, weak pair. Maybe also 9. You can see that we're going to be totally unbalanced, but there's really no way for us to continue to win the hand if we check. So I did check. I think we could have gone for three streets, but he's short stack anyways. I'm expecting him to get called and probably shows either a flush or like a queen. And that's what he does. He has a queen jack. Is that in his range? Yeah, we had it. It's one of those things. He didn't believe us, and that's why he called. So we haven't been at the table long, but you know, you kind of say this player could be calling station. So we already have overcall. So we're gonna add another one. Overcall in SB, overcall to, no, it's here, EP2, 3 big blind, RFI, in small blind with queen jack diamond. Okay, so he is out of position 3-way, out of position. He check called 50%, check called 50%, and then check on a queen of spades, 7 of hearts, 5 of hearts, king of hearts, 9 of spades. All right, so take notes on this player. We'll see him. If we think he could fold it, we bet, but in a situation like this, I don't think he's folding queens, so there's really no way to bluff. And if his range is all like queens plus, then, you know, if we get called, we're losing with all of our small pairs. So it's not for value, and we only have 10% chance that he's going to fold anyway. So I don't think we bluff as much as what we would have. All right, so hopefully you enjoy this, and if you do, look tomorrow for another one.